Hello and welcome to Crux Investor. First of all, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, do give us a thumbs up. That helps us understand if this is the sort of program that you think we should be producing for you. And of course, you can leave your comments below. That helps us with the questions you think we should be asking, and how you think we've done, and of course, what you thought of Galan Lithium. You can catch this as a podcast, transcription, or article on cruxinvestor.com. Or for our Crux Investor Club members, you get early access to this video, commentary from market experts from all around the world, and of course, all of those training courses. And if you haven't already done so, please click the button in the corner of the screen to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And of course, for more videos like this one, click the notification bell. We caught up earlier today with Juan Pablo Vargas de la Vega. He is the CEO of Galan Lithium, ASX listed junior with assets in Argentina. We're kind of intrigued about this. Lithium's going through a bit of a torrid time at the moment, especially in Australia, where no one seems to really care about for lithium companies at the moment. We kind of run through what the project is, how they're managing to kind of keep the lights on, raised about 1.6 million bucks recently. There's much chatter about Ganfeng being an invested partner of theirs. We kind of delve into that and talk about the reality of that situation. We talk about the quality of their brine project and where they hope to insert themselves into the market, given that there are a lot of lithium companies a little bit more advanced than them, but also struggling to raise cash and capital at the moment. So lots to discuss, quite an honest assessment from JP, and you can look in the description below at some of the topics we discuss. Anything interesting in particular, click on the number beside that topic. That's called a timestamp, and that'll jump you through to that part of the interview. Otherwise, sit back and enjoy what JP has to say. JP, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing brilliant, thank you.
Good. Well, thanks for joining us. First time we've had you on the show, and we're about to hear the Galan Lithium story. So appreciate you joining us. We always, well, first of all, where are you actually? Where are you? Are you in Argentina or elsewhere?
I would like to be in Argentina, but no, I'm currently in Perth, in Australia. We are Perth-based ASX-listed company. Having said that, I spend more than half of my time already in Catamarca in Argentina.
Okay, both not bad places to be, I'm sure. So look, giving us a news story to me and the audience, why don't you give us that 1 minute overview of the business, then we can pick it up from there.
We are an Australian-listed company. We have two projects. The salt flat of Hombre Muerto in Catamarca, Argentina. Our neighbors are, and this is important because we're in a lithium hub, our neighbors are the Livent Corporation that's listed in New York, and then we have POSCO listed in Korea, and then we have Galaxy Resources listed here in Australia as well. We are the newcomer here. This is an idea that I have 3 years ago to explore in a part that has not conventionally explored. At the Hombre Muerto salt flat, we have come out with 2.1 million tons of our resource inventory, and I'm pleased to say that now we are doing a scoping study. So the company's gone a long way in a very short little time, and we have a fantastic team that is pushing in the same direction. And Galan, it's in a way it's a dream come true. I've been pushing for this for a while, finding the right project with the right people, and everything's falling into place now.
Thanks for that summary. Appreciate that. Lithium in Australia, bit of a dirty word, isn't it? You getting much traction over there?
Well, look, we are in an oversupply sort of environment at the moment. It's not denial. There's been more lithium being produced than the ones that's been required. So we all know that. But our thesis is about being a competitive option. And while, yes, I do take that today, lithium, no one's put money in there. We are doing a scoping study. We have a very reputable engineering firm that is doing this, and we announced this last month. And on that, we have done quite a bit of work to get to where we are. But the thing that we believe is that we would have a competitive project that even if we are currently a producer of these sort of environments, we'll be the ones that are not complaining, not making money. So that's where we want to be.
And who's the reputable firm?
Very reputable.
Can you give me a name?
I would love to, but They have asked not to, so I'll stick to what they say. So, but all in due course. When we finalize the, if you refer to our announcement when we did it, and then you'll see it there.
Okay. Let's talk about some of your shareholders then. Okay, Ganfeng apparently are a shareholder. That was big news. So when did they come on board? How much have they invested?
That was February this year. They have come, and we'll be talking to them soon. All of the COVID-19 has delayed a lot of the conversations, and in a way, you know what, it's not about outcome from our point of view, because we were wanting to say more than just we are wishful thinking company that has some good hits, high grade, low impurities. Well, now we have 2 projects, high grade, low impurities, and a resource that's been studied to become a development project, which is this is where I get very excited when I start thinking where we're heading.
Okay, but in the context of there's a lot of lithium companies out there at the same stage, some struggling to get finance. There's not a lot of money swishing around. One of the highlights is the relationship, the fact that Ganfeng have apparently put some money into your company. So how much have they put in, and what are you doing with them?
Well, the connection comes through one of our directors, and he's part of Ganfeng, and they have this all happened when we were a private company. So through that, they became part of Blue Sky Lithium, which is their first company, the private company where it started. They financed a big chunk of their company, and that's how indirectly they became shareholders. And but the good thing is that we're still talking to them. And whilst things are be cooling off in the lithium market, they know what we're doing. They haven't walked away. They haven't sold a single share, and that gives confidence from our end that we're doing the right thing. Otherwise, they would have brushed it off a long time ago and not been part of our registry.
But how much of your registry do they represent? What percentage or what dollar term?
Approximately 9.5% or around 10% thereabouts.
Okay. But with a company of your side, is that just option money, or was that just a sort of legacy from the kind of Blue Sky relationship?
Yet to be seen, but I'm positive that it's going to be good down the track as we are developing our project. The fact Ganfeng is operating in Argentina, it's been operating for a while. We're not the first one. And they have all the concentrated efforts today with Lithium Americas, and they're developing that project. So look, I do understand that we come second in that regard, but just give us a bit more time, and we'll get their attention.
Did they put any money towards the 1.6 million that you raised in June?
Yes, they did. They did some, not much, but they have.
Okay, so they followed a bit of money. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, well, I just want to understand the moving part. So who are the other main shareholders in here?
The second largest shareholder. Board and management all up has got around 27% of the company. Top 20 shareholders got around 54% of the company. So we're tightly held. And if you like to think about the top 50, I will dare to say there will be around 60 to 65%.
Right. Okay. So does that explain the fact why your company is not very liquid? Not a lot of trading going on. You don't have much retail.
Not a lot of trading. Correct. It's very tightly held. Not much retail. We get in there. But we all across the junior sector, we're all suffering roughly in the same way. And while most of the larger companies have recovered in price, some of the junior, including ourselves, hasn't been necessarily the case. But it's the nature of the beast. We are fighting back. We work with delivering things that we'll say we'll do on time and budget as well. So and there's plenty on our pipeline of news that's going to come up in the next 6 to 12 months.
But we saw that a lot of that last year, people sort of announcing major catalysts, which they thought they were major catalysts, but again, the market didn't really care, hasn't really cared about lithium for the last 3 years globally. That's for lots of reasons. Mm-hmm. Okay, but what are you going to do? So why are you so confident that if you continue to just deliver your targets, that anyone's going to start listening to you?
Well, we have a strong support from the actual existing shareholders, and that's been proven already in not only in the $1.6 million that we raised, but previously in the $450,000 that we raised previously. And management, we all put money in, we all chipped in, even management as well, and directors. So and the top shareholders, they said despite the sculling at the time, we were able to raise money. So I'm really conscious about the fact that money is not that readily available, but we are creative, and COVID-19 has opened the opportunity to renegotiate certain terms, and even the work that we're doing, that we're trying to get that cheap as possible. So there's always one more way to skin a cat, and why my confidence is before doing this, before being a mining analyst, before starting this company. I'm not ashamed to say I've been even an Uber driver in my life. I'm whatever it takes to get this forward, I'll make it happen. And I'm not short of ideas. I sold and I put everything that I have into the company, and so far it's been proven that we get in there. So I have a very strongly committed team in Australia, Chile, and Argentina, and I can see the effort that we're all making. And so the human factor is a big one here, and one way or another, being resilient, being creative, and we will get there. And so we have proven basic already. We've proven that we have a high grade, low impurities. We have a significant resource that is for us enough to make this a project. We have looked at what it means in terms of the size, and we have enough space for our ponds. We don't have to go through a third party to ask for space. So things are bit by bit, they're ticking boxes.
Okay.
So the confidence is in the human factor and the fact that we've been able to raise some money today.
Okay, you having confidence and it working are two different things. So what I want to understand is what's the plan going forward in this environment? Okay, $1.6 million. That's just money to keep the lights on, right? And if hunkering down is the strategy for now because it makes sense to you, then that's the strategy. And nothing wrong with that. But I just want to understand, how do you survive?
And of course, we are going one step at a time. And where we at is we focus on the geology. We deliver our resource, box ticks. Now then we said, is this viable economically? We're ticking boxes. We are expecting to have a PEA at the end during Q4, probably sometime thereabouts November, December. So we have enough funding to get that done. Do we have money now to do the benchtop testing work? The answer is yes. We already negotiate rates, and so we'll have results in that way. The next thing is, do we have enough money for a pilot plant? The answer today is no. Do we have money to finalize our PFS? The answer is no. But it doesn't require that much more once we finish our study to do the engineering. So we'll find a solution. I know that money doesn't come out of trees, but the fact also that our current shareholders been supporting us and backing us up and believing all the way despite the constraint, and our share price not rebalancing as we think it is. If you look today, top 20 shareholders today and what it was 6 months ago, pretty much hardly any movement. So and I'm in contact with all of them, by the way. So, and also we recently have a new shareholder coming up, which is called Thematica, which is a green fund from Luxembourg. They've got offices in Geneva, and they've been fantastic. And they invest. We are the smallest company that invested, and they like to work with us in the long run. So we believe that we may attract the attention some other funds and that are in that space. And the fact that Thematica came without us, without the company having other than a joke, without having a study done, it shows the level of commitment and the belief in our project. They've done the numbers, and as I mentioned, the human factor for us is significant. We have Daniel Jimenez, which is an ex-VP of SQM in our board. He's got 28 years experience in lithium with SQM, 10 years with a senior VP of commercial. In 2018, he was responsible for selling more than $900 million worth of product from SQM. So we have someone with got a significant amount of experience, and the fact that he joined us last year, he's been close to a year, it gives a strong vote of confidence that with someone that knowledgeable in lithium to come to little Galan, coming from the largest brine producer to probably one of the smallest specs out there in lithium, it's a strong commitment. But one thing adds to the next, and we gather momentum. The market is not at the right time, but we believe that things will turn around. So we're looking. This is it's a marathon. It's not a race, and this is what I always tell my investors. Believe in us, but this is not going to yield something. It's not a trading. You're not going to make money with Galan within a week or two. You stick to us for a bit longer term, believing in our story and what we're doing, and we'll show the results.
Okay, so you mentioned Thematica there. They're a relatively small fund out of Europe. I mean, how much money have they put into you?
They have of the 1.6, they participate around 100,000.
Okay.
It's not a big amount of money in today's market, but it's a token to us. So look, guys, you're here. They want to work with us, and they're not walking away. They've been supporting us. They like what we're doing, and so when the next race happen and the next races happen, they'll walk the way with us. And they're not the most aggressive one, but we've seen that companies are paying attention to what we're doing.
Okay. Well, yeah, I know the Thematica guys. I mean, I don't think Argentina is in their top 10 countries that they invest in. And obviously it's not just lithium they're after. They've got lots of different commodities that they're going after. But I guess at least they're looking at you. So that's positive. And I just wonder how much of this is just placing bets on different companies, and seeing how it plays out.
And we were very restrictive as well. The first scene actually that came are our existing shareholders. We let Thematica to participate, and we didn't want to raise too much. At the same time, we wanted to have enough with expectation that things will improve. And so it's a fine balance between not over diluting yourself and get enough cash.
Okay.
To keep going.
Well, let's come back to this point that you said. No one's going to invest in Galan for quick return. There's a marathon, not a sprint. I hear you, and I think that's really good that you're saying that. Or you don't want to mislead people as to what they're getting into, because even if I look at your PowerPoint, you name a lot of different companies in that kind of lithium triangle of Chile and Argentina. Who are at more advanced stages than you. So they're ahead of you in the queue, right? And they're struggling to get finance. There's a handful of people who've raised a little bit of money recently for at various phases, private and public, but not many. There's more are not getting finance at this point. How do you plan for that? Because if you've got all of these people with similar, let's just stick with brines, which is what you are, okay? How do you compete when you've got all of these brine projects ahead of you, more advanced, also struggling to raise capital?
It's something that's always in the back of my head. At the end of the day, we're all in the same boat, and the boat is called anywhere between $300 million to $500 million. That's what you require capital-wise if you're going to be developing a project. It's all public information out there, so it doesn't take too long to realize that small companies require large capex, and I'm aware of that. I'm also at the stage that we are sending our brine to the lab. And one of the things that we have identified is, and this is food for thought, we have high grade concentrated brine that goes in our plant. We announced this last Monday. We have identified that our simulation, and we are conservative about our numbers that we disclose. This has been peer reviewed, so I don't want to overpromise because there's no point. 4.8% is what we believe that we can concentrate our brine to. before it goes into the plant to be treated for lithium carbonate and produce lithium carbonate battery grade. Now, the interesting thing that we're finding is that 4.8% equates to 25.6% lithium carbonate equivalent. So this is 4.8% lithium. So to us, if you transform that into lithium oxide, just to give a reference point, lithium oxide there will be 10.5% lithium oxide. So we have higher grade than the guys here in WA. So if I can find a way to get my product out as lithium concentrate, I will do it. So this is something that I'm exploring. It's early days, but commercially it can make a difference. So I'm trying to think outside of the box. I'm giving you a flavor of what it could be, but I'm looking at other alternatives as well of what else we could do. So commercially, that will mean a very it'll be a very big difference, because I could come online in 2 years instead of 5. So as big disclaimer here is this is early days. I need permissions. I need permits. I need a lot more than just go and do this. But we found out that brine is different, and it's different to all the brines that we've seen in Argentina. It's second best to the Atacama in terms of concentration, but it's still enough. If you think that people make money with 6% coming from WA, it raises the question: why can we not make money at 10% if it was lithium? If we were exporting lithium oxide, so I come from a commercial background. I try not to take technical answers as absolute answer. I push back. I try to open the questioning about what else can we do, because yes, the waiting period to get money and funding, and it's a whole history of lithium companies out there that they want to become a lithium carbonate producer, and the only one that was actually being able to do so, there was Orocobre, and we're learning from them as well. We've taken a lot of takeaway from what they've done, and we're taking notice of all of those things. So this is one of the things I'm exploring. There are more, that it's still early days, but if there is a way to put our product into the market quicker than anyone else, because the chemistry of our salt flat allows those levels of concentration, I will do so.
I'm interested in technically, what are your capabilities? I get that Daniel Jimenez is on board SQM, but he's a non-exec. I'm talking about the active technical capabilities within the company. I mean, have you got anyone on board looking at DLE?
Of course, yeah. We've been, probably it's been more than 9 months' work that we've done so far in DLE. We have looked at it and look at it again, and our doors get knocked by DLE people, and my message to them is always the same. I have probably one of the highest grade projects in Argentina. I give you logistics, I'll give you a camp, I'll give you permits, I'll do the permitting, I'll do all of that. You bring your technology to site and make it work. This is my compromise. But to date, every single DLE option wants money. And I'm not a big company. I'm not in a position to pay them. And this is technology that is not commercially proven. So would I like to do it? The answer is absolutely yes. Does it make sense? Of course it does make sense. But I'm also saying, I have a limited budget, and I need to stick to what it makes sense commercially. So I believe it's going to work, but I don't want to be the first one as well and take all the risk. So if it works, then we'll put a hand up, but I'm also open to work together with companies to give us an answer, and that I'll put I'll get everything else that is required. You don't have to spend money on anything, and today there's no one that has taken or has met in halfway into this. So when that happens, brilliant. I'd like to do that.
Okay.
I'm a very open-minded person. That's all
Okay.
I want to say, and I like to test new ideas.
Yeah, like I say, you've got to stick to your knitting, and you haven't got that much money to do lots of different things. You've got to advance this forward, or at least keep the lights on until you are in a position to raise more capital to do more. But just back on Ganfeng, I mean, go on.
And one more thing that I'd like to clarify.
Sure.
DLE is fantastic, but it's from what we've seen today is DLE requires a lot of energy, and we don't have access to that level of energy at site. You know, there is a gas pipeline, and can we get gas potentially? But you go POSCO and Galaxy, so they've got bigger
Solar
pockets today than us.
Is solar an option?
Pardon me?
Solar energy.
Solar is an option, but look, mate, from what I've seen, it's almost prohibitive, you know, to put a solar array, because let me put it this way, if you require 20 megawatts installed capacity, to make it solar, you have to more than double your capacity to run that with batteries. So, roughly, you know, it can cost you a power plant. It can cost you 50+ million US for a solar plant that can sort of power those sort of things. So we're talking about big dollars here, and yeah, it's. I would love to find a solution. I'm not close to the idea, but the key thing is power available, and where we are, the answer today is no.
What about, you know, the roads, the water's obviously there, but what about all the other things that you need?
Easy. Well, look, we got out live, and it's been operating for 20+ years. Live and produce lithium that goes into all the way to Panasonic and then to Tesla. So we're not promoting something that doesn't work. There's a long history of lithium production in our salt flat. So all the same logistics that they have, we can have them, and there's no different there. So permit-wise, we believe that we can get them. If you look at what Galaxy has, you know, they're getting permits. So it's all happening.
Okay. And okay, so just looking forward to the rest of this year. You've raised a little bit of money. Okay, you've got a PEA hopefully out by the end of this year, if there's no further restrictions or COVID impacts in country. Then what? PEA comes out. Then what?
Oh, we're following with the PFS.
Right.
So we have enough to kick off fund-wise to keep going with the PFS. We definitely need to raise money at some point, but the PFS is that right after. We're doing a PEA because we want to tell the market that we have something meaningful. Whilst we're not required to do a PEA and we are required to do a PFS, if you want to follow the step-by-step process, you have to do a scope and study PEA, and then we do a PFS. We just make it more transparent, so that's why I call it that way, rather than just saying we're doing PFS. That's pretty much semantics.
I guess what I'm trying to understand here is that, you know, given the state of the market, and things aren't moving as quickly as people want. There's a big demand, coming down the line at some point, but right now it's just not there. Do you have to rely on where the market is to make your decisions, or are you going to try and raise money and just plow on and just, you know, keep things moving as best you can? Can you raise the money to do that?
I think organically we can get all the way to feasibility. So give for the next, to feasibility from today, give it 18, 24 months. I think organically we can raise the money required for that as a company with our registry, with the people that we're talking to, companies that we're already having first pass discussions. So I think organically we can. The key question, like everyone else, is when big dollars come for capex development for lithium carbonate plant, and the answer is, do we have $500 million, even $300 million? And the answer is no. Can we look for something in between, something that we can do as a small company? And as the day passing, I think that I tend to think that we could get there. So and that's my north today.
Okay, so
what can I do to bring to market?
Two questions. Okay, 18 to 24 months to get a PFS done. How much money do you think you'll need to raise?
How much money? So in the next, we have had a burn rate of around $3 million if you add the last 2 years per year, so 3 or 3.5, so it'll be 7. To then, in the next 24 months, everything included, even running a company, we probably need to raise another 7, and that will get us there. Right. So it's not out of the question for any junior company that cannot raise, and we've done it in the past. I think that is doable.
And you think in 24 months' time, the market's going to be a little bit more receptive for when you come out and say, hey, I need to do a feasibility study and maybe look at building a pilot plant. Who knows? Yeah. Who knows? That's what the future may hold. But look, JP, that's a great first introduction to the company. Thanks for running through that. Just helps us understand sort of what's going on up there and what the plans are and how you approach things, which I think you've been very honest about today. So I do appreciate that. As things move along, pick up the phone, let us know how things are going. And obviously, hopefully the market, like the rest of the commodities out there, starts recovering a little bit.
Yeah, no, and one of the things we're doing we put an update on Monday. So we have gone to site, we retrieved 3 cubic meters of brine. So we're waiting for the permit so we can take that to the lab, and we're looking forward to update the market with actually hard data, and because we're keen to show what we have, and also if you look what Galaxy's done, they put an announcement this week, about where the plan is. So what Galaxy is trying to do, just think of us doing the same thing just behind. The chemistry is very similar, and we're applying certain things that could be a bit different, but overall, the chemistry of Ombra Muerta is fantastic. That, when you ask me, POSCO paid $280 million for the transaction for Galaxy. Is it worth it $280 million today? The answer is no. Fast forward 3-5 years, and you're not going to find another Ombra Muerta. The chemistry of that place is unique. So that's why I think that they probably was too much pay at the time, but it will worth in 3 years' time. So everyone will forget that we were in the downturn, and the way that things are pointing for the future, I'm very optimistic. Another something may give in before then, and I look forward to how the market will react to things like Tesla Day. That will give a bit of barometer to really see where things are going forward. But by the time we come online, as you point out early on, in 2 years' time, Galan should be in a very strong position, and that's where our team is running to, and what we want to get to.
Beautiful. JP, appreciate your time. We'll speak to you again soon.
Thanks very much.